Good morning and welcome to our crafting session this morning. It is Wednesday the 23rd of July 2025. Thank you for joining me. My name is Jenny McCormac. Excuse me. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire, and that's here in the UK. This morning I've got a couple of things to show you. I just want to start by showing you the projects for our July class in a box. Booking for that class closes tomorrow, the 24th of July. So I want to show you those and some of the elements that are involved. And I've also got a new secret weapon which I'm going to unleash on you today. We used it at Coffee and Card this week. And I just want to show you how you can step up some of your cards with some different bling. I'm going to also be using the Birthday Fancy card kit, which I used, I don't think it was last week, it might have been the week before. So I'm just going to do a couple more cards from that and use our secret weapon at the same time. So a good morning to you. Let's get cracking. So the first thing I want to show you just quickly is the selection of cards for our July class in a box. So the class in a box gets shipped to you here in the UK. You can take the online version if you're outside of the UK. And the box contents includes half a pack of this lovely floral charm paper. So if you love florals, this is for you. If you hate florals, it probably isn't, to be fair, although you could substitute any of the papers obviously for anything else. So these are I've got 5 final designs that I narrowed it down to, and we're using the Charming Day products. So it's Floral Charm is the name of the papers, and the dies come from the Charming Day bundle. You don't need to have the bundle to make the class. Obviously it means you can go on and do more and cut your own extra dies. What I love about this is, as well as cutting out the stamps from here, the flowers, it cuts out these additional dies. So there are 5 of these. So you've got the foliage here, you've got this detailed die with flowers on, you've got a rose, a rose flower head, and then this beautiful bit of foliage and some leaf buds. So you get that with the bundle, and some of these will be included in your packs. You can see here that I've added, so this is Crumb Cake and Blackberry Bliss, and I've added those on. This is a frame card, so very straightforward. Cutting a frame of different layers. If you have dies, obviously you can recreate that with dies, but I've just cut that so you have all the measurements for these. You have a printed dimension sheet with photographs, and you have an online video, one for each of the card designs, so you can do them in any order you like. You don't have to follow the order I put them together, and you can work at your own pace. So there's the frame card. We've then got this pocket card, and this is a piece of designer paper that's been split and then a hole cut into it to create this little pocket, and you could recreate that with any die or just a rectangle inside. So it's quite a useful item. You could also put a gift card attached to that if you wanted to. We've then got a window card. I just thought the papers were so pretty, we need to make the most of the papers. So there's that one there, and you can choose whichever paper you want to put in the backing. And then this has been fussy cut, and then I've added some foliage. So that's our window card. The next one, I've got 2 of the same design. One has got the white layer behind, and this has got the white layer in the front, but other than that, apart from using different papers, it's the same design. So a torn edge and again, the whole idea for this class was designs that you can use over and over again. Just change out the papers, or you could add your own stamped backgrounds if you wish. And then finally we've got a fan fold card, and this uses effectively rectangles which are cut in half to create that fan element, and this piece here is the piece that we've cut off from there, so something a little different. So that's our July class in a box. As I say, booking for that closes tomorrow, the 24th of July. Okay, let me show you our new secret weapon. I've got a sample of it here, and it's something that is in the annual catalogue but is easily overlooked. It appears on the embellishment page, and it's called Metallic Textures Rub-Ons. It's transferred by the heat and pressure from your finger or thumb. You don't need to be scraping at it. So basically it is a rub-on, a bit like the old, if you're old enough to know, the old letter set, but somewhat more sophisticated than that. Let me get these out for you, and you can apply them to your project either right at the end or as you're going along. So we have silver and we have gold, and I know this is going to reflect a little, so I do apologise. I'll try and keep it out of the light. But you've got swishes of metallic, you've got wood effect, you've got lots of dots, you've got a little grid, you've got this really useful panel here that you could just put a little bit or different lengths. And there are two sets. If I could find a complete sheet of each, that would be a bit more helpful, wouldn't it? Nearly. So you have 8 sheets in total, 4 in gold, 4 in silver, and you get 2 each of the sheet in silver and gold, if that makes sense. So 2 of these in silver, 2 in gold, and then 2 of these in silver and 2 in gold. And they're really easy to use. What I would say is you want to make sure that you keep the backings on. Once the backing comes off, it's slightly tacky on the back, and you can transfer the metallic onto whatever surface you've got underneath. Let me show you a sample. It's this one here. I'm hoping you can see. So we were doing the vases last week, and I've used this crisscross pattern here. Hopefully you can see that in the background, and there's lots of different splats and shades here and here, so you can literally use part of that. And then just odd little bits I've added to the vases, and even in the center of this flower I've used this strip here, and I've literally just cut off 1 dot and used it in different places on my card. Hopefully you can see that. Might be a bit too small for you to see. Morning Babsy, thanks for joining us. So I thought what I would do is another couple of cards from the recent birthday fancy kit and show you how to add this in. And you can add it into anything that you've already done. So if you've got a card that you think it's lacking a little bit of something, you could go back and just add these in. Obviously you need a nice flat surface to work on, but what I'll do is I just want to show you on a dark background, that's why I'm hesitating. Let me just do it on here. And you can cut elements in half as well, so don't feel you have to use all of that. So let me show you how it operates. So you just take the colour that you want, gold or silver, cut the piece down to the size that you want, and then just remove the backing It'll come away quite easily. This is quite flimsy. It's like, well, gold foil, for want of a better description. And then you're going to pop that down, and then all you're going to do is rub with your finger. You don't want to use scissors or anything else like that. It gets transferred with the heat and the pressure. If you use scissors, you're just going to scratch, or bone folder, you're just going to scratch that element off. Okay, once you've done that, you can just lift up that backing sheet and it's transferred. Hopefully you can see that. And what I love about this, hi Jazzle Dazzle, thanks for joining us, is that it's flat. So when you're adding larger embellishments that are rounded like pearls and things like that, obviously you're adding weight and you're adding height to your card, whereas with this it's completely flat. You don't get you get a little bit of the texture that you can feel. So if you're making cards for people with that are sight impaired, for example, normally you might be able to feel that. So you can't feel it in any detail. It's nice and flat. So that's how it works, and I highly recommend you get some. It's a whole pack is £13, but you get 8 of these sheets, and we've used this 2 lots of coffee and card, and there's still obviously plenty left. One thing I did yesterday with this one here is I cut it out, and then I cut it into quarters, and then each of these 4 elements I put around the corner of a base card, and it looked really pretty. So there's some foliage, there's some sort of winter foliage here, a wreath, so you could have something in the center, lots of splats, lots of grids. These little stars would also work. They are great fun if you use them yourself. We've got these this foliage, nice big dots, and again, if you just want a little bit, just cut out the bit you want and grid. These are great for just little lengths, so what you can do is just cut along here. You don't have to cut the backing down, alright, just cut the element that you want, and you could have that coming in from the side. And I did think that would look lovely on the vases. If you had some plain vases, oh, I wonder if I got one here I could use. It might work on here. This is one left over from my last class in a box. I would probably put it at the bottom, but let's put it at the top on that little neck piece. So just take the backing off. Do keep them nice and flat, because if the backing comes off, the back of this is slightly adhesive, and so if it ends up on something and you push it down, it will be transferred. So let's just pop this on here, across there. I know it's going to go off the end. So it has got adhesive on the back. That's the main medium for transfer. But there we go. I lift that off. Yeah, there it is. Hopefully you can see that. So a great way to bling up. Oh, excellent. Bring up your cards. So with that in mind, let's pop that away. I'm just going to do a couple more cards, but I'm going to add this addition. I'm pretty sure the cards in our box here have got gold elements to it. So these were the 2 that I did, I think. I can't remember now whether it was last week or whether it was the week before. But you get loads and loads of components in your boxes, and you get lots of different base cards. Let me grab some here. You get a stamp set and an ink pad. So I've just pulled out a few bits and pieces I'm going to use. So we've got this petal pink stripe background, and I've got another of the blue dotty, and I'm just going to literally grab some components, trying to find different ones to the ones that I used previously. We've got these lovely gold dotty envelopes that go with them all. Okay, that will do on there. So these are two that I've done earlier. So this is the frame, and I use the instructional guidelines just to put these together. But really, with this set, you can do your own thing. So it comes with the stamp set. It says sweetest birthday wishes. Let's eat cake. Happiest birthday. Sending you happy birthday wishes. A nice little for you. Time to celebrate, and wishing you another year as sweet as you. So I'm just going to do two quick cards. I just want to show you how you can introduce the metallic rub-ons. So I think what I'm going to do is some stripes and that petal pink panel, because they match together perfectly. Let's grab some die cuts, of which there are a crazy amount. I think I did add them up at one point, but I can't now remember. Okay, let's have a look, see. So lots of banners, macarons, pies. I want one with that bit of that pink in, really. This is rather nice. This one here. And it's probably a little bit too big, but I might cut that down. Add some gold in there. Let's just put that to one side. This one's going to go onto there. So let's find, I could put this little grid on, excuse me, or I could put the length, or I could put some dots. Let's see what else I've got. Those cute little hearts might be quite nice in there. So I'm thinking I can add these in here, and my cakes like that. I might cut this down so I've got a smaller thing, and then pop my sentiment on there. So let's do that first. So this is little hearts. They don't have to be hearts, I guess. They could just be a pattern, and you could have it going any which way you wanted. I'm just going to pop this in here. Alright, so it will stick on there nicely because it is self-adhesive on the back, and then you're just going to rub that. So just be careful if you've got sharp nails. You don't want to be scratching the gold. And if I've got a larger element, then what I like to do is just peel it away, make sure I've got everything, which I have. Okay, look at that. I'm hoping you can see that okay. I'm sure you could do something with these pieces that are left over. I guess you could use the reverse side, which is silver in all cases. Okay, let's find and I just want something with a bit of colour across there. Let's see what else I've got that might fit. I think I'm going to use this, but I'm just going to trim it down. So the kit itself has 12 card bases that you can use. Let's cut this down the centre, like so. And then I'm going to cut it about there. So don't be afraid to use up different elements, cut them out. Okay, here's my base card. Whoops. So this is Petal Pink. This is going to go onto there. Just going to use glue for speed, but the kit does have tape and it has dimensionals. It has a huge sheet of dimensionals. I wish we did them in this size. What size is this? It's nearly 6 inches square. Okay, let's pop this on. Make sure I've got this opening the right way round, and so that I've got my little hearts going in the right direction, like that. And then I've got this, which I'm going to pop up on dimensionals, and this I think I'm going to tuck just underneath like that, and then put a small sentiment. It's got some nice narrow sentiments. I'm going to put that on top. So for my cake, I'm just putting, let's cut this one in half. Just a few. I'm not adding too many dimensionals because I want to be able to tuck things around it if I need to. And obviously you don't have to use these straight onto the card. You could put these onto coloured card and utilise them that way. Just want a little bit of overlap, top and the edge. This I'm going to tuck in like that, and then I'm just going to add a sentiment on there. So I'm going to leave that for the minute. Find a sentiment. So I quite like Let's Eat Cake, although Sweetest Birthday Wishes would also work. Here we go, Let's Eat Cake. Like so. And let's find a little smallish piece here. I think what I'm going to do is cut this down as well. So I'm going to stamp it first, and I'm going to use strawberry slush to pick up this pink. So this is a great kit. Particularly, I think it's particularly feminine, obviously. Right, let's put this central but low. Let's Eat Cake, because I want to trim this down. Okay, when you're cutting small bits, it's easier to cut them towards the edge because it's held in place a little bit better that way. So I'm going to cut this down, but that's the effect that I want. So let's trim this so it mimics that. And what I'm going to do, I think, is position it here and then cut this off to fit. So let's put a little bit of glue on here, and I just want, do I want it? Yeah, I want it in a little bit from that edge. so. Trim that edge off altogether, and I might need to trim it a little bit more, I'm not sure. Let's see, yes. Like so, it's going to go. And I think I'm just going to keep this flat because it's tucking underneath that lovely cake. There we go. Just a reminder, if you're on my email list, you would have received it this morning, but that we have free shipping for orders of £60 or more between now, today, the 23rd of July, and so it's Wednesday, and Friday evening, the 25th of July. As long as your order is more than £60, you'll get free shipping. There we go. And let's just do another one really quickly. Let's see what I've got. So maybe I don't want blue on blue. Could use the other side. Let's see, I've got this one actually. This has got little cut out almost like keyholes. That's going to work. And this time I'm going to stamp my sentiment on here, I think. That would be perfect. It doesn't give me any space. Let me pick out a few others, because I want to be able to pop my sentiment on there and then add a little bit of bling. So I've got one, two, that's similar but goes the other way. Oh, maybe a cup. There's a blue cup, that would be better. Like so. This is you've got plenty of these die cuts, you've got all sorts of different shapes as well. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment here, maybe, and then let me just see what I've got on my sheets here. So I've got dots, I've got this stripe design. Let's see what else that would work. And I'm obviously picking up the gold ones. Got this foliage here. Or I could show you what I did with this one. Oh, too much choice. Okay, maybe. I will move these all out of the way. Maybe I'll put this across the bottom. Okay. So you could cut it with trimmer. I'm just going to cut it with my scissors, and that will allow me to cut off just the length that I need. So cut the whole thing. Let's move these out the way. And this time I'm going to put this across the bottom. And it's quite useful if you do cut it with the trimmer, because then you know you've got a straight edge to line it up with. So I think what I'm going to do is have it come just off the end to there and there. And so not to waste this bit here, I'm going to cut that. So I'm going to use the edge of that as my line. Let's just make sure I've still got enough space. Yes, I have. And that's going to pick up the gold from there. So again, just move the backing. So it's like pre-designed gold foiling. That's the best way I can describe it. So if you miss the beginning, this is our new secret weapon. I'm going to have to order loads more, I think. Let's just keep this straight on the bottom. Yep, that looks good. I could have been a little bit more accurate here. There's only a tiny bit left over. Okay, so rub it down. That's going to pop the adhesive onto your card. And then you can peel this away. Like so. I've even got that tiny bit there left, which I can keep as long as I put it onto its backing. There we are. And I've just got this bit here to trim off. There we go. Look at that. What a difference that makes to our card. Thank you. I think especially if you've got something that needs a bit of lifting, but also in this case I thought it would just bling up these a little bit more. Although some of them obviously have got the gold on them already, some of the cards, but these ones, it just changes it a little bit. So, as I said, I haven't worked out what to do with this. I'm sure you could add a tiny bit of glue and then put this on a darker piece, but you need to trim it tidy, not like I've done it. Okay, let's pop this on. I'm just going to drop this down with some glue. So they're called Metallic Rub-Ons. They come in silver and gold. I hope maybe we'll see more of them. But as I say, you get lots of different patterns. You get the swooshes, you get the wood. So this now mimics that little bit of gold there. And I'm going to pop these up. I'm going to stamp my sentiment first. So I'm going to have 1, 2 and 3. That's that little piece I saved. Let's grab Sweetest Birthday Wishes, I think will fit in there, or Time to Celebrate. Let's find the stamp set. Let's see which one. That says Time to Celebrate. That would definitely fit. Sweetest Birthday Wishes. I think I'm going Time to Celebrate. It's a little bit deeper for that space there. Oh gosh, somebody's shouting outside. Okay, so I'm going to move those out of the way. This is nice and flat. What I should have done was probably stamped it first before I attached it, because then if I'd made a mistake I could turn it over or turn it round and cover it up. But we'll go with it. Find my stamps ink pad. Okay. I hope you've got decent weather. It's Janice, isn't it? I think it's Janice. Jazzle Dazzle. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I've got Time to Celebrate. I haven't practiced with this one, so hopefully it'll be okay. There we are. Time to Celebrate. It's certainly cool here today. Bright but not sunny at the moment. Okay, these are going to go on with dimensionals. So let's really bling that up nicely. As I say, it hasn't added any weight and it hasn't added any height. Right, here we go. I'm just going to put 3 on that one, 1 on that one, 1 on the cup. Oh, it's a bit cloudy up in Scotland. Yes. Let's cut that piece off. Okay. Oh, let's add a bit for that one. Just a little bit to support the base. Go. So this one's going, I want it just sticking out on the left hand side. Okay, just placing it lightly down in case I need to move it. So long as I haven't pressed it down, I should be fine. There we go. That's this one, and then our little cup here. Well, I could put it in the middle and then put something in there. Ginger plant. I was going to have it there, but now I'm going to put that there, and I just need something extra to put in here, don't I? So I don't want any foliage, I don't think. I could have some dots. I could have this little swish here, or even half of that. So don't feel you have to use the whole thing. Oh, that might work. I want the grid. I could do a line going across. Too many choices. Might just halve that. And put that in there like that. What do you think? Just like a sort of splash. Or oh, I've got those little stars. Yes. Okay, that would do. They're little sort of diamond, tiny little stars. If you can, I don't think you can see that really. Yes, it's going to work. Angle, straight, straightish. Okay, so press with your finger or your thumb, don't scratch it, you're just applying it with the self-adhesive behind, so the heat and the pressure just helps that stick, and then when you peel it away, ah yes, so I've got my little sort of snowflakey stars. Hopefully you can see that. There we go. So our new secret weapon, Metallic Rub-Ons. They are in the annual catalogue. You can find them under the embellishments. And I was going to give you the number if anybody needs it, which is 165270. And they're Metallic Textures Rub-Ons. £13 and you get 8 sheets. So you get 2 sheets each of 2 designs in gold, and then 2 sheets each of 2 designs in silver. Okay, let me tuck these out of the way. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Janice. So there's that one there that we added this bling to, and this one added the stripe across the bottom and this little bit of bling here. And then these ones were from the kit, So this bling is already on the card, so I didn't need to add anything to that one. This one I did last week, and as I did this one, and I might be tempted to add a few dots in there. It's a little bit addictive, I've discovered. When you start, it's very, yeah, it's very easy to think, oh, I'll just add that and add that. And normally I would say less is more, definitely. But sometimes you just have to give it a go, and I think I'm just going to put some dots on there, and we're done. And there, like that. So you want to keep the backings on because the actual foiling is self-adhesive. Like so. There we are. Done and dusted. Alright, thank you so much. So the kit is called Birthday Fancy, and it's lots and lots of cakes, cups, macarons, you name it, pies, and it comes with all the base cards, the envelopes, and all the extra bits and pieces you need. It comes with the stamp set, which has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different sentiments on there, and also it comes with a block and an ink pad that you can carry on using even after you've finished the whole kit. So thank you so much. Do take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you try out our new secret weapon. Thank you, and bye for now.